Do I regret leaving New York City and moving to Thailand, moving to Southeast Asia? Do I regret it? I left November 1st with the intentions of moving permanently. I left my tattoo career behind. 5 years tattooing, very successfully. Built an Instagram, over 40,000 followers, just with my tattoos, my designs. That was my livelihood for the past 5 years, right? So left it behind, decided let me try and make money online. Let me try and see what I can do, if I can make this work. And it has not been easy. But nothing good comes easy. So I don't regret it, actually. I am substantially happier. I was severely depressed in New York and anxious. And I'm no longer depressed, and I'm no longer anxious. And I'm not facing a New York winter. I may have been stuck here in Bali for almost a month, but it could be much worse. It's more so not wanting to be stuck anywhere, not wanting to not have my freedom. I value freedom more than anything, and that's a big part of why I even started to tattoo, is traveling around, tattooing, being able to continue the lifestyle I've always had of constantly moving around, but doing it in a way that I could earn money. And I was successful at it. But I was still more locked down than I wanted to be. I was still tied into New York to make good money. And so, I wanted to try something new. And doing YouTube was part of that, but I didn't bank on that being like a full-time gig or income source. It was more so, let me do this on the side. Let me see if it can turn into something. Let me see if I enjoy it. And it turns out I love it. I really enjoy doing YouTube vlogs. How you doing? Oh, that guy's excited. He's a little tipsy on a Sunday. As he should be, right? Yeah. It's not been easy. But I am getting by on continuing to make tattoo designs and continuing to book tattoos in New York, and partnered with somebody else to actually do the tattoo work, And I take a cut. I take around the 20%, 25% cut of the whole thing. 30% cut, depending on the tattoo, Depending if I'm making a custom design or if it's something I've already uploaded. And so that is just getting me by. And the only hiccup I had was getting stuck here and having already paid for an Airbnb in Thailand for a month. And so I kind of had to double pay for a month and had to pay $200 for the renewed passport. And so until then, I was really on top, always had a consistent amount in my bank, was able to pay for another rental. And when I fell behind, I decided, okay, well, I have to sell my tattoo machine. Since I'm not tattooing anyways, as much as I didn't want to sell it, had two, sold both. I decided it's the only option. It's around between the two $1,000 US. And so to have $50 to my name, but be holding $1,000 in tattoo equipment, that I'm not using felt silly. And so if and when I tattoo again, I will have to buy a new machine, right? But for now, that has helped me. No. Like, that has helped me get by. That is helping me to get back to Thailand from here and continue this journey and try to build another income source or further the income that I'm making through Instagram and design. I sort of fell off with it. The big issue was slow during the holidays, and I sort of fell off putting time into it because I'm putting so much time into YouTube. And so it made me realize I want to put all of my time into YouTube. I want to do this full time. I want to keep making better videos. And yeah, I would like it to become my full-time income. I'm not gonna hide that fact. You know, I would like to turn this into a business. Whatever that ends up being, whatever type of videos that ends up being, you know, if it's not what I'm doing now, maybe, who knows? Maybe it will become a little bit more, let's say, like a travel TV show, travel documentary style, or maybe I will start doing more adventurous type things, National Geographic style, you know, going into the wild and things like that. But that's not the plan. You know, I'm just spitballing. I think what I really want to do is daily vlogs and figure out how to do those better and better. Make it something people want to see, and then lead into a couple months down the line, maybe do 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, slow it down a little bit, increase the editing time that I can put into it. And so my thought process initially was a daily video is going to be your best bet. Quantity, not over quality, but considering I had no editing skills, no real capabilities outside of, you know, what I know already, I thought, okay, I may as well do it every day. I have the time. It would feel like a waste not to, right? There's only so much editing I can do or things I can do additionally. I don't regret any of it. It has been the best decision I've made. And, you know, I don't know where I would be had I stayed there. You know, probably still feeling mentally ill and depressed. So I think I'm not going to just recommend anybody jump up and leave their life behind. You know, I think if you don't have a relationship or strong family ties, then it makes it easier, and that's probably the best candidate to get up and move across the world. And I didn't even hate my job. You know, I loved tattooing. A lot of people thinking to move to Thailand or just move overseas, move somewhere drastically different, hate their job, or they're in a 9-to-5, and that's, I think, their biggest issue. You know, the biggest source of unhappiness for them. And that's what they really want to escape. In my case, it wasn't necessarily the tattooing or my job that I wanted to escape. It was nothing even so specific. It was just my atmosphere, you know, being in New York for close to 5 years, being there through COVID, and just feeling like I needed a change overall. You know, having been many times to Thailand and always leaving and feeling like, oh, I wish that I didn't have to leave, or I wish I was going back sooner. You know, those thoughts are kind of what yeah, what pushed me to do it, to make that decision and to choose Thailand. Of all places, you know, there's a lot of options. And I came to Bali for a few reasons. One was, you know, take a break from smoking weed all the time. Two is that I used to live here for close to 2 years, and well, it was drastically different back then, but I wanted to come see if it's somewhere I wanted to move instead of maybe living in Thailand, see if it was a better fit. And I've discovered no, right? But have to try some new things sometimes. And I mean, I'd still even like to visit more places that I've not explored enough places. I've been around Europe and few other places, but not really Asia, not too much of Southeast Asia. You know, I've not been to Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines. Those are all places I would like to go and see how it feels. Both to make content there, but also to see how the day-to-day life feels. And I'm not thinking about getting a job at this point outside of my freelance work and doing YouTube. I don't want to hold myself back from those endeavors, especially YouTube, where I would have already taken an English teaching job in Bangkok. You know, I did an interview and got the job essentially, and was told, hey, we want you to start immediately. You know, we want you to move to the area, start immediately. And I was in Pattaya at the time, and I thought about it. I really thought about it, because having a solid income of 1,100 US per month, although that's garbage for the full-time requirement, it would be really helpful, you know, having health insurance as well. And they also pay for any visa runs. So, you know, more so works out to maybe 1,400 a month US. But it just felt like, oh, well, then I'm just going to be stuck in that spot. That's what I'm going to be doing, just to live in Thailand. And also now living in a sort of more random spot of Bangkok, I just didn't think it was the move for me. Now, to do it online and not such specific hours all the daytime, maybe it's a better option. Or if I really become down and out and I just can't sustain myself in any way, I would take the job. You know. But from the time of taking the job to getting your first paycheck is also a good amount of time. So if I ever really found myself in that position again, you know, I'd have to get a little more scrappy and probably do some freelance gigs online, something like that, writing gigs. You know, I have to really hustle in a different way. So for now, I'm going to keep consistent with Instagram, tattoo designs, and trying to put more time into that so I can make sure I can pay my way while I try and grow the YouTube. But I'm not going to slow down with it. I'm only going to pick up speed with YouTube. Cutting down tree. Yeah. Nice. But I wanted to make this video to talk about it, since it's been 1 month since I've been here in Bali, and total it's been almost 9 weeks since actually I left New York. So a little over 2 months. A good amount of time to evaluate how it feels, and you know, if I started to regret that decision. And no, definitely not. I think even if I could go back to living in New York and making a crazy amount of money like I was at some points, I don't think the trade-off is even worth it then. You know, I still think there was an underlying level of depression even when I was killing it. You know, I was doing really well. I don't think that the money was buying happiness. It's taking a lot of stress away, for sure, of just like being able to buy all the food I wanted, being able to travel as much as I wanted. You know, I live in a nice place, a nice apartment in New York, in whatever area I wanted, and still have, you know, plenty of money left over. Felt good, and it was low stress in that regard, but, you know, there was still a feeling of unhappiness, emptiness, you know, maybe just not wanting to, it's a little dark, not wanting to be there all the time. You know, New York is an amazing city too. It's still, I think, one of the best cities in the world, or maybe the best city in the world. It's somewhere I'd love to go for a month at a time, or a few weeks at a time. But to be there all the time, it's stressful. It's stressful, especially if you grew up in America. I think it's everyone's dream to go there, who's from here, or from Europe, or from pretty much anywhere. It's like you want to go to New York. But on the opposite side, it's like, well, usually we want to go here. We want to come here, or we want to go to Europe. And we feel like more comfortable all of a sudden because everything is different. It's more interesting, you know, at least for some time. So that's where I'm at. We'll see how it develops, you know. I think part of vlogging this journey is also to just document how I feel throughout it, you know, show my friends back home and my family and, you know, everybody what the journey is like to actually get up and move across the world alone without any real plan, job, savings of any type, you know. It's a big thing. So thanks for following along. Wow, I had an alarm go off about my massage appointment in 30 minutes, and it cut the video recording at such a time, you know, just 10 seconds before I was gonna say goodbye. So yeah, anyway, see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.